Well, good morning, everyone. I am super excited to see you. For those of you that I haven't met, I'm Niels Gott. I'm an Agile coach, an executive coach, and a positive psychology consultant. And I've recently been certified in this game, Cozy Juicy Real, which is a real treat to play. So I am thrilled that you're here. It's online, so it's the portability of it is what I really enjoy the most, is that I could use this with groups all over the world, literally. And it's a great way to augment the other things that I do. So it's also a fun and meaningful way to have conversations in an easy and natural way. And so as we get into it, you'll see that that's kind of what the point is all about. So in terms of an opener, I think we can forego some of those things because we've got a smaller group today. What I'd like to do is just start with an invitation. Because this game is about getting to know each other, I'd ask that you consider sharing a little more than you might usually lead with. The invitation here is to lead with vulnerability. And so, of course, only what you're comfortable with. But again, since this is a game about meaningful conversations, it's a whole lot more fun if we're ready and willing to go a little bit deeper. So first, we're going to have two short videos. The first will teach you the game rules, and the second about how to actually use the online game board. And then after that, we'll do a super quick demo, and then we'll get into it. And again, if this is the group that we have, we can stick with, we won't necessarily have to do breakouts. We can all stay in the same spot, which actually might make it easier logistically. So everybody ready for the first video? Fantastic. All right, let me share my screen. We'll get after it. Make sure I'm sharing the right screen. Got 3 monitors going on here. All right, y'all see it?
Cozy Juicy Real is a board game with a very...
It's not sharing the audio though, is it?
No, it was coming through.
Yep, okay. Coming through good.
Great.
Ungame-like purpose to create fun, authentic, and connecting interactions. The aim of the game is to get to know each other, and you'll do this through questions, challenges, and activities. The winner is the player with the most points when the game ends. In the center is the game board. On the board are 5 decks of cards, and around the outside are the player mats, where each player holds their purple spark cards and collects their points. All players begin on the space that says Start, and you'll move clockwise around the board. When the first player reaches the lightning bolt, the game ends. If you have time, you'll enter the bonus lightning round. When you're finished, count your points and find out who's the winner. Okay, let's get into it. Cozy Juicy Real has 5 decks of cards. The Cozy deck, these are get-to-know-you questions worth 30 points. The Juicy deck are a little juicier, worth 40 points. The Real deck, these are real questions worth 50 points. The Random deck are group challenges, and points vary depending on the challenge. And finally, the Bonus Lightning deck. These are guessing games, each worth 60 points. To start, choose a character by double-clicking where it says your name. Whoever chooses player number 1 goes first. Everyone starts on the space that says Start, and the start space is green. So everyone draws from the Cozy deck on the first turn. The cards you draw are for you. You'll read the card out loud for all players to hear, and then you answer the question. After you answer, collect your points by dragging the card to your points area. Then move your character. Each card shows how many spaces to move. The space you land on dictates the card you can choose on your next turn. So if you're on an orange space, pick a juicy card. If you're on a blue space, pick a random card. And if you're on a space with many colors, then you can choose from the colors on your space. Spark cards are how you interact with other players, and you have 4 different types. High five cards that you can use when you want to appreciate another player or give them a virtual high five. A courage card to thank someone for sharing something that might have taken a little courage. A go deeper card to ask another player a follow-up question like, what happened next? And a what about you card to ask another player the same question that was just answered. To give another player a spark card, drag it to their points area. You can use spark cards anytime with any player. It doesn't need to be your turn. When you give a spark card to another player, you're giving them points. For example, when you give someone a high five card, you're giving them 20 points. Just watch out. Unused spark cards at the end of the game need to be subtracted from your final score.
Aww.
When the first player reaches the lightning bolt, the game ends. If you have time, each player can draw a card from the bonus lightning deck. Read the top lightning card for your instructions. When you've finished, count your points just like you would in real life, and enter the points by double-clicking your points box. Whoever has the most points is the winner. Got it? Are you ready? Let's play.
Okay, so those are the rules. And again, we're going to do a short video in a second. Make sense so far? All right. Anybody not used Miro before? Pretty experienced group. All right. Perfect. That'll make this next part go a little bit easier, but we'll show you the Miro intro as well. So let me share it again real quick.
In this video, we're introducing you to Miro, the online platform for cozy, juicy real. There are just 4 skills you need for game time: activating your controls, reading your cards, moving your cards and character, and navigating the board. Okay, first things first, activating your controls. You'll need to do this so you can play the game. See this toolbar on the left? Click the black arrow at the very top so it turns blue. Remember, this activates your controls so you can play. These card decks on the game board are at the core of the game, so you'll need to be able to read them. To read cards, just double-click the deck to zoom in. Then press the backspace or delete key on your keyboard to reveal the question. And then to zoom back out, click the up arrow just to the right of the deck. This one right here. Let's do that one more time. Double-click the deck to zoom in, then press backspace or delete on your keyboard to reveal the question. Then zoom back out by clicking the up arrow just to the right of the deck. And that's it. Throughout the game, you'll want to move cards to collect your points, and you'll want to move your character around the game board. To do this, just click and drag the object to where you want it to go. Easy peasy, just click and drag. There'll be times you want to move to different areas of the board. So to navigate the board, press and hold the space bar on your keyboard. When you do this, your cursor turns into a hand. Keep the space bar held down and click and drag with your mouse or trackpad, just like that. And to zoom in and out, use the plus and minus keys on your keyboard. And that's it. Remember, in order to play, make sure that this arrow is blue. This activates your controls so you can play. Okay, you're ready to go.
All right. Make sense so far? Perfect. I do see Noah's on an iPhone, and just as a heads up, it might be a little bit trickier. We'll get to how to navigate that in just a second, but this does work a lot better if you're on a laptop or desktop. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to share a link to the check-in board. You should see that popping up in the chat. This does take about 15 to 20 seconds to load. It being Miro, it takes a minute, but I'd like to invite you to navigate to the check-in spot. If you don't have a Miro account, you don't need to create one. So if you get that pop-up, just close it. Of course, if you've got a Miro account and you want to sign with it, that's fine too. But seriously, no need to make a Miro account. It might just speed things up to X that out and move on. All right, it looks like we've got quite a few in there. So really what we're looking for is, how do you feel at the moment? We've got 3 columns: happy, sad, connected, disconnected, and trusting and unsure. So go ahead and grab one of the blue dots from the right and check in for each of the columns. How are you feeling on the happy, sad continuum, connected, disconnected continuum, and trusting or unsure? And of course, for anyone that's not familiar with Miro, if you are annoyed by seeing everyone else's cursor roll around, you can turn that off. In the top right of your screen, there's that little cursor with a couple lines next to it. That's a good way to turn that off if you don't want to see that. All right, looks like we're pretty well checked in. I'll give it just a second. I see a couple more moving around. All right. Looks like we're just about there. So next, we're going to go to the actual demo. So I need one brave volunteer, or I can voluntold somebody.
I can do it.
Somehow, Diller, I thought you'd be the guy. I really appreciate that. All right, is everybody seeing the demo board? So,
Do you want us to click on that demo so it brings us over there?
I used the come to me feature. Apparently that didn't work right, did it?
Nope.
Did it work that time?
Not for me, no.
No, but I'm gonna click to follow you, and then it'll take.
Yeah.
So if you click on Niels's name or his picture, he's yellow on my screen anyway. If you click on him, then it'll take you over to his view.
I got it. Thank you.
Perfect. I don't know why it's the bring everyone to me is not working right. That's odd. Yeah. Okay. So please do follow me if you aren't, or at least be looking at the demo board. So I'm going to share my screen maybe to make that a little bit simpler. Find the Zoom controls. All right, so the first thing you do when you get to your game board is choose your character. As you can see, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think for our actual game board, you'll have 5 spots, may not need them all. I'm going to put my name here for number 1, which means I'm kind of this horse-looking guy. And I'll put Diller in for number 2, which is this frog. So with this demo board, just so you know, these questions are different than the actual game. But because I am player number 1, I'm going to go first. Start is green, so everyone starts with a green cozy card. So I'm going to double click to zoom in, and I'm going to hit delete. And so the question is, if you had to choose a favorite magical creature, what would it be? I'm going to go with a unicorn because my kiddos love those. So this says that I move 2 spaces. So I'm going to zoom back out. I'm going to move my little guy 2 spaces, 1, 2, to that next spot. And I'm going to drag this off to my points area. So then got my 30 points, and now it's Diller's turn. And they're, of course, going to also start on the cozy deck. So I'll double click to zoom in and press delete to display it. All right, Diller, in your opinion, what's the best kind of ice cream?
Oh, that's a tough one. My favorite ice cream that I think I've had is no longer made, and it was an Archer Farms Madagascan vanilla, and it's really, really good. So I really miss it, and I'm kind of mad at Target still.
Can't blame you. That sounds fantastic. Nicely done. All right, so that one said move 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, and we'll drag the card into Diller's points area. And so we'll just do those questions for now, but we would happily continue moving around the board in that clockwise fashion. On his next turn, because he's on an orange spot, he'll take the juicy card. On my turn, because I'm on this dual colored spot, I could do either a cozy or a juicy card. So remember, there's no right or wrong answers. And if you pick a card that you don't really like the question, if it doesn't resonate with you for whatever reason, you can just click and drag it off the board. So we'll say that we didn't like that one. You just pull it off like that, and But these questions are pretty harmless for the most part, and I think it's more fun to just engage. Again, totally up to you, whatever you want to do with it. So, as a reminder, the first player that lands on the pink lightning bolt wins, unless we've got time, and then you could go into you could do a bonus lightning round by using the pink deck. So, all right, I'm gonna take us to a couple more things here. We're almost ready to get going. For anybody that doesn't have their camera or mic on, this is a whole lot more fun and interactive if you do. So if you're in a spot where you can, I invite you to turn your camera on and use your mic. This is a way, if you're just on a single monitor, this might make your experience a little more fun to just minimize zoom to 1/3 of your screen and use 2/3 of the real estate on your monitor for the game board. Of course, if you've got dual monitors, set it up however you're comfortable with. If you're just on one screen, you kind of want to be able to see everybody in gallery view at the same time if you can. So we're nearly there. It looks like we've got enough for a couple of breakouts now. So when we get into the breakouts, if you get stuck, just hit that ask for help button. I'm sure this isn't anybody's first time on Zoom, so I don't anticipate you'll get stuck, but if you do, feel free to use that feature. And this next part is important because we'll have a couple of breakouts. I'm going to put the links in the chat in just a second. Don't click them yet. Use the Zoom room that you're going to be in to pick the board. So I'm thinking we'll probably have 2 breakouts now. So room 1, click on link number 1, and room 2, click on link number 2. And I'm going to go ahead and put those in the chat in just a second. So the one thing I wanted to make sure to share, because it looks like Noah's on his iPhone, it might be easier if someone else in his group navigates for him, because it's a whole lot tougher on a mobile device to be moving things around. So if someone else in the group can just volunteer to click and drag and move this piece around, that would make that go a whole lot more smoothly. All right, I'm going to copy 1 and 2 into the chat. And what do you think, Diller? Are we set up with some breakouts?
Yeah, so it defaults 3 people into each room, and then I'll hop into one of the rooms myself, and then I think that's the 7 of us, and then you as co-host should be able to move around however you'd like to.
Fantastic. Any last questions or concerns? Awesome. All right, well, take your time, have fun. We've got about a half hour to play. I'll bring you back about 10 minutes to the end of the hour, and we'll have a short debrief. Let's go for it.
All right, breakout rooms are open. You should be getting invites. I see people going. Niels, you should be good to move around then wherever you want to. I think I'm going to join Klaus, Deb, and Lisa in room 1.
Perfect. Awesome.
All right.
Hello, hello.
All right, we're recording. Okay. I use Miro all the time, so you guys can help me with the Miro navigation. I would appreciate it.
No problem.
I guess I don't. Do we have? I guess I don't have the room 1 or room 2. Room 1, I guess, is where we're at.
Yep. We are in room 1, so that would be the first link on there.
Do you need a link?
Should be in the Zoom chat, Deb.
Okay, thank you. I closed it out and couldn't find it. I'm working on one screen, so I apologize.
No worries.
Trying to navigate to get everything showing is not always.
That's hard. There's a lot going on. All right, so.
Well, I think we can all grab one of the 4 boxes. So pick your character.
I'm calling it a puffin, and I'm taking the puffin because I loved puffins as a kid.
Okay.
All right, well, it looks like we each got a spot. It looks like I'm up first, so let's give this a shot. All right, my question is, what did you do for your very first job? What's something that stands out to you as you think back? I did some babysitting as a kid, but I'm not going to use that one. I think my first actual like W-2 job was I worked at McDonald's when I was 15. What stands out to me? It taught me that I really hated smelling like fries. And so I didn't want to do that a job. I think I worked there for about 9 months and then bounced to something else. And I think the one thing that has stood out was how many people smoked and how many people got smoke breaks. I think after about 6 months, I started taking non-smoking breaks where I'd just go not work for 10 minutes just to make me feel like I was getting my fair shake too. So that's that one.
I love it.
Move 2 spots. All right, Deb, looks like you're up.
So I'm sorry, I double click on the cozy
Yep. If you double click,
Yep.
it'll zoom you into it.
and then hit.
And then hit delete, and then you can read the card.
If you could open a door anywhere, where would you choose to go and why? I would choose to go actually to heaven to visit my uncle who passed away probably about 10 years ago. Just to get advice from him because he always seemed to give me good advice whenever I was struggling with things. And it seems like right now in my life, I need some advice from him. So that's what I would do.
It's a nice thought, Deb.
One spot.
All right, Lisa.
I think, you know what, I am completely lost. I clicked off and I can't get back to the board. I've gone to the room a couple times and I don't know where to go, I guess.
Can you find me in the participants list in the upper right in Miro? Yep. And then if you follow me, you should now see my screen. So
Oh,
is yours blue? Do you have a blue circle around your picture in the upper right?
I found you now.
Okay,
There we go.
perfect.
Oh no,
So
this
then-
is the old board though.
this one says room 1 right here on the side. So I think we're in the right spot.
I'm seeing the board from earlier.
When you look in the upper right, what 2 colors do you have around the circle that is kind of off?
I have that sample board. I'm in
Yep.
that sample board now.
Yep. When you look at your screen in the very
Yeah.
upper right, there's like a bunch of little circles. There's one right next to the editing button.
Yeah.
What color is the one right next to the editing button?
It's like orange or something. Maybe.
Does it have a little bit of blue on it?
No.
Okay. I wonder if you're in a different, if you didn't click the link.
Well, I was in there and then I clicked off to go back to the something else. Anyways, you guys want to go to the next one and whoever's next.
Well, we can click do your thing for you. That's fine.
Okay.
Somebody can click your question.
Okay, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll click your question
Okay.
and I'll read it.
Thank you.
All right, so the question is, imagine you could magically bring a fictional character into real life. Who do you choose and why?
Oh, a fictional character. Tell me who I choose and why. Oh my gosh. Fictional character. Well, the big thing at our house right now is Sonic, the little blue hedgehog. He, I believe, is a fictional character. To my daughter, who's 5, he is very real. I would bring him to life because he is super fast. He's smart. He's funny. We have all sorts of Sonicisms in our house now after watching his 2 shows, and he's electrifying. How about that?
I love it. All right. That one says to move 3 spaces, so I will move you 3,
Thank you.
and your card has been moved to your total.
Thank you.
All right, I will go. Of the hobbies you have, what's one that's most important to you and why? Man, I have one hobby that I do a whole lot, but I actually think the hobby that's most important to me is I like to like seek out and find small time learning apps. For my kids, I just love to explore what's out there and see the way that they structure learning and things like that. And that one's really important to me because I think that other people benefit from it too. I love all my hobbies, but that one, like the searching and finding kind of like hidden gems of learning apps, is the most important to me because I love doing it with my kids. That one says to move 2.
Looks like Niels gave us a sticky note to remember to use our purple cards. I'm gonna retroactively use my courage purple card. I'm gonna give that to Deb for her answer about her uncle.
And I'm gonna give you that for your answer. I finally am back in there, but now my cards aren't displaying. I think it's just taking a while to paint. Here we go.
All right, well, I think it's back around to me. I am on a cozy, juicy square, so let's go do a juicy one. Show and tell. In the room you're in, what's an object that holds meaning for you and what makes it meaningful? This is great. So I've got a bunch of rhinos around here, so just a bunch of rhinoceros statues, and they all come from this really dumb book called Rhinoceros Success, which is from like the 80s and was my dad's, and it's the first printing was July of 1980, so this book is older than me, but it's all about how like there's 2 kinds of people in the world. There's like rhinos that like charge after what they want, and then there's cows that just stand in the grass chewing their own cud, and it's really cheesy, but to a young me it was pretty impactful, and so it kind of made like a rhino an important animal for me. And then it's also, you know, that kind of idea has kind of shaped a lot of how I've lived my life. And I don't know that I fully subscribe to that anymore by any means, but it definitely had an impact on a young me. So that's mine. And I think that said move 5.
Jace.
All right, Deb,
All right.
I think you're up.
And I've got a random. And it says, in a clockwise direction, all players say 5 words each to create a really short group story. You start.
I think you get to say 5 words in a row.
Oh, I get to say 5. Let me get back into it here. Double click. So in a clockwise story, all stories say 5 words each.
Or do we go 1 word at a time and we go around 5 times?
All players say 5 words each to create a really short story. Okay, like I say, the purple turtle started swimming.
Think I'm next.
Yep.
After starting kindergarten today, it
Oh boy. Met a new friend, rabbit.
Whose name was Bunny Hops.
Nailed it.
I think we got it.
that was fun. That was great.
Okay, and I get to move 4 spaces.
And you keep the points, man.
Keep the
We
point.
did all the work here.
Yeah.
Right?
2, 3.
Okay, so
I'm
now
gonna high five because that was fun.
I'm gonna high five when I get back down there. So now I go to Juicy, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So, and how do I click again?
If you double click on it, it'll zoom you into the card.
And then once it's zoomed in, if you just click on it and hit delete, it'll show the, or backspace.
There we go. All right. In your life, when is a time you've been inspired by something or someone? What did you find inspiring? Let me think here. I was inspired today by my 5-year-old daughter. Today is her first day of kindergarten, and she jumped on that bus so excited to go. Completely different from when I started kindergarten, and it was very traumatic and scary to go off and leave my family. She just very excited about going to learn new things and meet new friends, and so she inspired me to not be afraid to try something new, to just be courageous.
I'm gonna throw a go deeper at you, Lisa. So besides feeling inspired, what else are you feeling as a mom sending your kid to
So
kindergarten?
I'm feeling happy and I'm feeling sad. I'm happy because she's growing into this amazing little girl. I'm sad because time is moving quicker than I've ever realized. But again, then again, happy because it's a joy being her mom.
And I threw a what about you on David for the same question.
Oh boy. Well, this won't be new for Diller to hear because I talk about it all the time. So one of my old mentors is he is the one of the leads at IC Agile. His name's Ahmed Sidki. And when I quit my job at Riot, he was the lead of my department, and he said, I know my job is to try to convince you to stay, but I want to ask you why you're leaving. And I told him I wanted to prioritize my family over my career. I wanted to move back to Minnesota, be around all of them. And instead of like pushing me not to do that or things like that, he told me, I'm actually really impressed by the way you've explained this, because prioritize was a singular word before it was brought over into Western to the Western languages. Originally in Latin, it was only priority was one word. There's no such word as priorities. And to me, it was really inspiring to have a leader who didn't try to downplay family and instead was just supportive in the moment. For that one was like, he wasn't trying to push me out the door because I had that question in my head, but just having the support was awesome. So yeah, that was really inspirational for me. I was like, I want to be that kind of leader if I ever lead people.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thanks for giving me that card.
High five, Klaus.
I feel like I've told that story in like everything we've ever been in, Diller.
Well, I hadn't heard it, so I appreciate you sharing.
I do as well.
I think you're up then, Klaus.
Yep. All right. I'm going to do the juicy card because I'm on a split space. Over the past year, what's something big or small you feel proud of and why? Boy, past year. I've done a whole lot, but what am I proud of? That's a great question. Honestly, I think the thing that I'm most proud of is there's a real shift in like the balance of power of me and my parents' relationship, where now they're looking to me more for help and guidance than they feel like they need to guide me. I mean, my parents are older from when they had me, but I'm really proud that I can be in a spot to help them when they need help. So that to me, it's a pretty big change for them, especially. For me, I've kind of always been independent. I'm an only child. It's like it's not huge, but um, I'm really proud of the opportunity to be able to go back and help them out more with simple things. You know, my dad was in the military, so him having to ask for help isn't really high on his list of things to do. And knowing that he's now comfortable doing that makes me pretty proud that I feel like I'm at a good spot to be able to do that. And I am going to throw a what about you at Deb on that one. I want to hear something she's proud of.
So I've got a couple things that I'm proud of. Earlier this year, I found out that my job in a personalization studio with US Bank the studio was being dissolved, and I was like, what am I gonna do? But then I ended up getting an awesome Scrum Master position, also with the US Bank, and it's been the best job, the best transition that I've had. I'm very happy with my current position. I think it's been a blessing in disguise that the studio was disbanded and I was able to move over into the Hogan Deposits team. Very happy there. And then kind of playing off what you were saying, David, was just the relationship that I have with my son. I've got 2 kids. My son is my youngest, and getting to know him as an adult, and just having the friendship relationship rather than the parent-child relationship, just fostering that relationship and just learning to do more things with him and his fiance, and actually getting into trap shooting. So we're actually joining a trap shooting league that we're starting next week, and just getting more involved, as an adult relationship with him. That's kind of more of what I'm proud of. So
It's awesome.
I give you a high five, but I'm out of them.
Thank you.
All right.
You're up, Taylor.
We haven't done a real one yet. I'm a little afraid, but it's 50 points. It's hard to get that. What's something beautiful in your life right now, and what about it are you appreciating? My kids, 100%. I've got a 3rd grader and a 1st grader, and they're both still in that age where their like personalities are definitely showing, and you can tell that they're like, actual people and not just like, a baby that has personality, but so much of it was driven by everything that I did, or my wife and I did, and now it's being driven by teachers and friends and their own interests and that kind of thing. And they're still young enough that like they still want to be around. And like I came down to hop on this call this morning, and both of them, came over and gave me big hugs before they went out to get on the bus. So I know that is fleeting and won't always be the case, and there'll be seasons for it in the future, but I'm really appreciating the beauty of the season that I'm in with them right now.
I'm hitting you with the go deeper question because I want to ask a follow-up, which is, what is the biggest difference between their 2 personalities that makes them unique, do you feel like?
Yeah, both my kids are super shy, but Claire has figured out how to like get over it, and Grace like hasn't. And so that's kind of amazing. And then Claire's better in public with new situations and new people than a Grace is. But at home, Grace is louder and more off the wall. Grace has this knack for being able to like find a solution for any problem. So like like she'll say, I want to do this, and I'll say, no, I can't because this reason. And then she'll say, well, you could, and then have some solution. There's always something, and frequently it's like, I have no way of arguing against that. And so she gets that right. And then Claire just she just feels really deeply, and she's a very emotional in a good way most of the time, not always, but a very emotional person, has a lot of empathy and just feels really deeply. And they've got a lot in common, but they've got very distinct personalities too.
Awesome.
Thanks for asking. Looks like I'm gonna move 4.
I'm going to do a real one as well. What's an act of kindness you may never forget? I guess a long time ago, I mean, several years ago, when I was going through a really hard time. I had two kids, wasn't doing well. I went to the grocery store to buy some groceries and realized I had forgotten my checkbook. I mean, this was back, probably 15 years ago, when we still did checks, and realized that, like I said, I'd forgotten my checkbook out, and someone actually paid for my groceries for me, and just paid them all out. And I didn't ask for anything to, for me to pay it back or anything. It really kind of struck me that there were good people still in this world back then, and it's something that I've kind of tried to do going forward, that I've noticed that if there's somebody, that I've seen struggling at the grocery store or something like that, I will step up and say, hey, let me get that for you. It hit me so, it really touched my heart that someone cared that much to help me out when I was struggling, and that I always try and do it going forward. So that's what, for me, and that's a move 4 spaces.
I'd high five you again, but I'm out. We need more high fives.
Hey, Lisa, same question. What about you?
So I belong to a group of people, and it's a philanthropic group, and we trying to think, it's an anonymous group, I gotta say it that way, that I started about 10 years ago. And we find unique situations where women can use help, and we donate to them, whether it's like gift cards for them, like for a spa, or for something for them to take their kids on. It's just some type of activity. So the biggest, it happens every month. So I am fortunate to be able to see kindness every month. One of the bigger ones that was really tough situation was when we gifted a gal whose her sisters and her sister and the entire family had been killed in a murder suicide, and we did what we could anonymously to help this gal get through that time, with some gift cards and some flowers and some I think we gave her, it was either a bracelet or a necklace, I can't remember, but it was in memory of her family that she had lost. And to me, that was just like a wonderful thing that we could do to be gracious and help somebody else out. But yet we don't need to take, we don't feel like we have to be known. We don't want people to know who we are. So it's all anonymous. So that I have this group of gals that want to do that for others just is amazing.
That is an amazing. I gave you a courage card for that, because there needs to be more of that around. So that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. So do we got time to do enough? Should I do, let's see. I don't remember what I do now. I'm sorry.
You're on a orange space.
Orange. So I do juicy.
Yep.
Okay. And then okay, what's an experience you've had that you think no one else in this group has had? Oh geez. I think you're all seasoned vets, so I think that you maybe have all had pretty much gone through what I've gone through in my career. Maybe let's see. Oh, this is a tough one. Well, I just had one yesterday in a workshop where when I talked about having open communication, open, honest communication with the group, and participating in active listening, I was told that it was okay to multitask, that everybody can multitask in all meetings. So I don't know if anyone else has run into that, but it was a shocker to me.
It's definitely an interesting one. I love it.
Looks like we're
If
getting.
anyone has gone through that, let me know how you handled it. All right.
Looks like we are heading back to the main room here.
How much time? I'm gonna steal my last
30
50
seconds.
points.
30 seconds.
All
Do
right.
it.
Over the past few months, what's one low light and one highlight that comes to mind? Low light was being hit with COVID for 10 days, and I got brain fog, where I had to concentrate immensely to do simple tasks like unlock a door. And it was terrifying. The highlight is coming on Sunday. My wife and I, 9 years after being married, are taking our honeymoon that we never took, because.
And just curious how you found us.
Sorry.
How did you find this group? You mentioned you're in Germany, so I was just curious how you found us.
A guy from India told me about it.
Okay. Thank it.
No. I have I'm a part of a group. I work for Saint-Gobain, and a part of a group is part of an international team that I'm working with. There's a guy from India, and we share a lot of information about Agile and about games and about forums that exist. And he brought me to the attention of this specific forum. I mean,
Cool.
it was just pure coincidence. And I was actually, I take some time for this because I'm very interested in bringing more gamification into the office. Yeah, so that's why I joined. But thanks for the question. This is actually a group that is, because you know each other a little bit, I understand, or you know each other a bit quite well, or how is this formed?
Yeah.
Because you know Noah?
Yeah, because Noah and I used to work together, and when this group started a couple of years ago now, at that time we were all in person for the most part, so we were able to connect in person, and then the pandemic hit, and now we're virtual. So yeah, lots of us are familiar with each other from working with each other. And Deb, we worked with you too. And so,
all right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I know we're almost up on time, but I put a link in the chat, so I'd like to just do a super quick checkout. It looks a lot like the check-in. You've got the 3 columns, and I'm just curious how you feel now on those continuums of happy, sad, connected, disconnected, sure, unsure. So it looks like at least one person was able to get more. Perfect. So the link is working. Let's just take a second and drag over how you're feeling. And I'm going to see if I can copy the check-in to compare, because looking at it, we're already definitely a lot more improved.
Yeah.
That's not pasted for me properly. All right. Well, it looks like
I might have you covered. Give me a second.
perfect. Attaboy. Thank you, Chris. Exactly. Well, look at that. Well, I really appreciate everyone participating today. There's a few more questions we could do with the checkout, but I don't want to go beyond the hour and eat into your day. I'm just grateful that you all made time to play this game, and I hope that you learned something about each other and are able to take something away. So the only thing I would ask is just a one-word checkout. If you could throw something in the chat about how you feel.
So can I just ask, is the game available free in Miro, or is it a subscription, or how do we get access to it?
So that's a longer conversation that I can that I'm happy to have. But the short answer is I'm certified to deliver this game, and really I use a pay as you go kind of model. And so you have to be one of the certified facilitators to be able to deliver the game. But I am delighted to share this with anybody that's interested, and happy to explore, if it's a fit for your team or what you might want to do with it. And so I'll maybe just throw my LinkedIn in the chat. So if anybody wants to add me, we can be buddies.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Niels. This was a lot of fun. The hour went very, very quick. Had a great time.
Thank you. I usually try to book a little bit longer. I usually try to book 90 minutes if I can get away with it, but I was trying to make sure we could fit it in the construct for our meetup. But it does go quick. I agree. I love this. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, this was good. Thanks, Niels.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Niels. Really great.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's good to see you all. We'll see you again next month, second Thursday at 8 o'clock Central US.
And we don't have anything planned yet for
I
October?
don't think we have anything yet. So if anyone has anything they want to run, you can feel free to reach out to me, Marissa, Klaus, Noah, whoever.
All right.
Cool. Great getting to know you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks
It
a
was
lot.
fun.
Bye.
Have an awesome day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.